halfway. Heaven, guide me. Heaven, show me the way. Heaven, guide me. Heaven, show me the way. When I'm lost and confused, heaven, lead the way. When I'm reaching for you, will you meet me halfway? Heaven, guide me. Heaven, show me the way. 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 Heaven, guide me. Heaven, show me the way.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. There are a lot of giggles going on today because we're all in Halloween. Well, half of us or so are in Halloween costume, and some of the costumes are quite lovely, quite fun. So welcome, and welcome to each of you who are here today on this celebration where we enjoy dressing up and having fun, which is part of what Unity's message is that life can be fun. Welcome, everyone. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my pleasure to see you all and to be the minister at this community of love and support and fun and learning. If you are joining us for the very first time, I welcome you. If you are returning, welcome back. Welcome home. And I can see this microphone is already acting up. So I'm going to switch microphones right away. And I'll untangle later. It used to be that Richard would often be on sound. Do you remember those days when I would, the other microphone was even more unreliable than this one was? And he would come up and he'd be kind of tinkering behind me right in the middle of the service. I digress once again. Welcome, everyone. And if you are joining us online, either currently or sometime in the future, a very warm welcome to you on behalf of our entire community. We all turn around and say hello, and glad you are joining us. At Unity of New Westminster, we offer empowering ideas for lives which are full, which are abundant, which are calm and connected and contented. We draw primarily on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our way shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom to be found, though, in faith traditions everywhere. That there is wisdom to be found in song and in story and in poetry and in prose and in movies and in each one of our life experiences. And so we honor every person's right to choose their own life path, their own spiritual path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. Let us begin our service in a time of centering prayer. As we give thanks that we are gathered here today on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. We give thanks for First Nation peoples everywhere, for their love of this land which we all now love. We give thanks that we can join together here in person and through the wonders of technology to laugh together, to sing together, to be supportive to each other and feel the support of one another, to be reminded of our connection one with each other. We know that there are many names and many faces for the one creative power that some call God, others call Allah, Yahweh, Creator, nature, life, the universe, the force, quantum science. Thousands of names and thousands of ways to understand the one creative power in which each person on this planet lives. By whatever our understanding for that power, we embrace the idea that we are all part of it, that there is no spot that God is not, and that includes each and every one of us. And in that sense of unity with that one power and with each other, we extend a blessing for love, for peace, for contentment, for wisdom, for healing, that every person may know that they are part of one interconnected whole, and that what we do to one affects that whole. And so we bless, we love, and we imagine peace. And so it is. Amen.
I'm gonna let it be the field, the one that rain forgot. I'm gonna let it be the summer. I'm gonna let it be your face, the one that ran away. I'm gonna let it be forever. I'm gonna let it rain and hail, gonna let the rusty nail no longer hold this world together. I'm gonna let it be the sun, in more ways than one, shine a different way tomorrow. Shine a different way tomorrow. I'm gonna let it be the moon, let it play its tune, the one that keeps repeating. I'm gonna let it be your will. Let it have its thrill, if that's what you are needing. I'm gonna let it start again. Let it chase the wind with my arms stretched out before me. I'm gonna let it look at me as I lay sleeping in the dark and love me like a baby. I'm gonna let it be the sun in more ways than one, run out of its horizon. I'm gonna let it be the night, for I have had my day dancing at the back door. I'm gonna let it hear my prayer, no matter who is there, no matter who is listening. I'm gonna let the dream tell me what it is always known, the moonlight and the glistening, the moonlight and the glistening, the moonlight and the glistening waves.
Thank you.
As we prepare to hear today's message, I invite you to close your eyes with me in a time of meditation. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. If it feels more comfortable to leave them open, then allow them just to rest gently and focus on something quiet and still. And become aware of your breathing. Just notice the air entering your body and leaving your body. In this magnificent cycle of renewal that requires the intake and the out-breath. A reminder that life also has its ins and outs, its ups and downs, the ebb away and the flow toward. And with every breath, allow your body to sink deeper into your seat. Until it feels heavy and is not doing any work at all. Notice that your mind does not stop. And accept that that is so. And extend a feeling of gratitude for the work your mind does. And then knowing that it will be there when you are ready. Sink a little deeper beneath your thoughts. And imagine that you are walking and in your hands are a basket. And as you walk, you discover things that delight you. It may be a favorite pet. If you find that pet, pick it up and gently put that memory, that image into your basket. As you walk, you may notice a favorite smell, a fresh flower, grass that has been recently cut. Take that memory, that image, and add it to your basket. Maybe one of your favorite images is of a favorite sunset or sunrise. The delight of looking up and seeing the snow on the mountains. As you walk gently, find these nuggets of beauty. Hold them in your hand and then place them gently into your basket. A newborn baby. A gentle hug from someone you know. Walk now in the silence and collect some of these images. And what's amazing is you notice that the basket is not heavy. In fact, it is so light that you can gently fold it. And in your imagination, place it somewhere within you. It may be in your heart. Or your chest. Only you know. And now remember that any time you are looking for comfort, for a feeling of connection and restoring, that all you need to do is breathe. Find your heart. And then gently draw your attention to your basket of delight. In that basket of delight, peace awaits. Calm awaits. A sense of being restored awaits. And so it is.
I'm gonna let it be the sun in more ways than one. Run out of its horizon. I'm gonna let it be the night, for I have had my day dancing at the back door. I'm gonna let it hear my prayer, no matter who is there, no matter who is listening. I'm gonna let the dream tell me what it is always known, the moonlight and the glistening, the moonlight and the glistening, the moonlight and the glistening waves.
In my life before I became a minister, I used to work at a store that is no longer, but some of you might remember. It was in downtown Vancouver, and it was called the Party Bazaar. You remember? And it had this big balloon out, and our motto was celebrate every day. And Halloween was our Christmas, as you might imagine. We lived for Halloween. Everything we did was targeted towards how's Halloween going to be? How's this going to fit into Halloween? And one of the things that I noticed with Halloween is people, especially at that time, 10 years ago now almost, that people would come in, and we were at that time the only adult costume place, almost. We were the ones that had it all, and we decorated like crazy, and it was an experience to walk into the store. It was not going in to buy a costume, it was going in to find a Halloween experience, and costumes and accessories were like the bonus. The experience, the music, the things jumping out and playing, and the staff all having fun, and all of that was part of this experience. And people would line up, like we would have security outside lining up and letting people in because we had so many people who would come. And what was so interesting is that as soon as adults put on costumes, they transform. They have so much, it's as if somebody has given them a little check mark that says it's okay to have fun now. And the biggest transformation that we saw is as soon as someone puts on a wig. I don't know what it is about a wig, but as soon as you put on a wig, it's like you're carte blanche to be something different and play in a way that is energizing and fun and silly. And I think that's magnificent. My encouragement, of course, is to try and do those fun and silly and playful things, even if you're not wearing a wig. But if that's what it takes to get the check mark, wear a wig every day. What was true also is looking at all of the costumes, they were all about transformation. Whether it's a fairy tale costume, or whether it's a superhero costume, or whether it's a costume that is an animal, they always imply this ability for us to transform. And at a basic level, if you think of any successful story, it almost always includes some sort of change, some sort of transformation. And of course, we are all in our own story. And a story always has a hero. Today, I want to speak about the idea of the hero's journey. It is something that was sort of captured by Joseph Campbell in the mid-60s, I think it was. And basically what he realized is that any successful story kind of goes through some stages, and that these stages are the elements that make a story successful, that engage us. Why do they engage us? Because we can see ourselves in the story. Now, his stages of the story, of the hero's journey, are like 17 or something. So I won't do that to you. So I'll do the hero's journey from sort of my point of view, with the idea that all of us are on this journey. And I see it as 3 major stages. The first stage is what I think of as the calling stage. It is also, all stages require courage. So that's sort of the underpinning of being the hero in your own story. We all have courage. And what we find is that we start with the status quo, with where we are. So think of any story that you have ever watched anywhere, and it starts with the hero or soon-to-be hero having a pretty normal life of some kind. Like think of the Hunger Games with Katniss, and she's doing her thing with her family, and the society may not be terribly happy society, but the status quo is that they're living, they're doing their thing. For us in our life, the status quo is exactly where we are now. And there's no real need for change. There's no call for change going on. Until shift happens. Something happens. And that something propels the hero, but not always right away. What typically happens is the hero realizes that there's something that should change, that they could change, that they'd like to see shift, and they are in the power to do a little bit of something about that, and the first thing they do is, I'm not going to do that. So we go through the cycle of a call to action or a longing for action, followed pretty quickly by a refusal to answer that call. And we sometimes stay in that cycle for our lives, where we want to do something but we don't quite get to it, want to do something, don't quite get to it. And we see it in big things, like career changes and relationship changes and societal changes. But they also happen in little habits that we have, like sitting down to write a talk, where I could do it now, but I'll find something else that's much more compelling, like vacuuming. And there's this call to action and this refusal to get into the discomfort of it. And sometimes what happens then is that shift that happens, that forces the action, is A, you run out of time, or B, there's some sort of signal that this has to change. It may be that a mentor shows up, or it could be something as random as you see a sign along the side of the road and it's your final, like, okay, I get it, I got to do this now. Sometimes it's something outside of your control that propels you. So sometimes it's a mentor, sometimes it's a tormentor. But something finally forces you to cross from your comfort zone to something different. And it really feels like you are stepping into an unknown, taking a major leap. And the only person who can make that change is you. So you cross the threshold from the comfort, even if it was a discomfortable comfort, which I think all of us could probably identify with. We've all put up with things, perhaps, that are uncomfortable, but we know what they are. And then we shift by taking this walk across into the unknown, into the journey of the hero. So that's step one, is that crossing over from listening to the call and then crossing over. And the question, before we even get to that, is, what are you longing for and hearing a call about that you are refusing? And if you are, guess what? It's okay. Because that is predictable. It is, sorry Barb, I know she's not here and she hates it when I use the word normal, but it is abnormal human behavior. To recognize that there's something that might be beneficial if we shift it, and yet we don't. Too uncomfortable. So that's the first. The call, the refusal to call, the cycle of that, and then breaking the cycle, stepping into the unknown. Then we're on this journey, and imagine a path. Imagine, the superhero, the dude in the cape with walking along the path, green on every side, going into the mountains, Lord of the Rings style. Imagine that's us. We have this mentor who has either inspired us to take the step, or we have the memory of the tormentor to tell us that this is what we want to do. And so we move into this stage which I think of as commitment. And commitment works in 3 phases. Once we've entered in and said, yes, we're going to do this. The first is that we actually don't do all of it alone. So in every story, you will see that the hero finds supportive companions. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy collects companions, the Tin Man, the lion, the scarecrow, and I'm forgetting one. Tin Man, scarecrow. Pardon? 73? Is it? Oh, and then the dog. The dog is with her too, so that's her other companion. And what's interesting about those is they're all looking for different things, right? Strength, heart, courage, which are representative of the things that we need when we're on this journey. So these companions join us on this journey. Jesus had 12 disciples. We have Luke Skywalker with Yoda and all of his sidekicks, Princess Leia and so on. I have to throw a Star Wars reference in there. Life would not be complete if I did not. But can you see how every story has these companions? And the companions are there to walk beside the hero and at times uplift them and remind them that they can do it, because the companions can see the greatness within the hero that sometimes the hero cannot see for themselves. Metaphysically, of course, the companions are the parts of us that will support us on our journey, that are there beside us, walking with us. It may, in real life, be that the companions are a support group, an AA meeting, a spiritual community, a family, a group of friends to hold you accountable. A hero surrounds themselves with companions who support them. And yet the heroes don't trespass. They walk beside, they don't cross over. They let the hero be the hero, and they are happy to be the sidekicks, if you will. And so the question that I ask you to think of is, who are the people who you could draw on? Who are the organizations that you can draw on? The systems that you can draw on as you're making your transformational journey of any kind. As a result of working with these companions, then, we come to the next part of commitment, which is finding the skills and honing our skills to make the change. So imagine that you've got a habit that you'd like to break. I mean, heroes' journeys do not need to be about saving the world. Sometimes they just need to be about saving dinner. So it doesn't have to be a macro. It can even work on the everyday. What are the skills that would support you in making this change, because you're breaking a cycle? And so in the movies, of course, you see someone doing drills and using the force, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And there are all these little challenges, mini challenges to learn from, to overcome. And at times the challenges are a test of commitment because they will fail. And you think you've got this, and it turns out you don't, and the strategy that you thought would work isn't going to work, and you're like, I'm out of here. I'm going back to the way it was before. I'm going to cross back into the uncomfortable but known that I didn't like, but it's more comfortable than failing all the time. And this is where having the companions is helpful, because they help bring you back and remind you of your goal. And remind you that you didn't learn to walk without the occasional stumble. And you didn't learn to read by reading Love and War and Peace. You began to read with Janet and John, like baby steps. And so, commitment includes continuing to learn, continuing to learn from your failures, continuing to learn from what worked, and honing your craft until you become the master. And then the third step of commitment, which is something you don't see in the movies very often because it's boring, is the place where the hero separates from the challenges and separates from the companions and goes into a place where they contemplate, where they mentally get themselves ready, calm themselves down before they meet the dragon, before they say the words that need to be said, before they take on this challenge that they have been so afraid of. And it is in this calm place, which sometimes happens after the hero fails at a challenge, they'll go off to calm themselves down and also to gain clarity again about what their vision is. And so this happens prior to the big battle always. But we don't always see it in the movies. It is that final going within, that Gethsemane moment that Jesus had of, I'm all alone. Do I have to do this? It's not too late. Do I have to do this? I'm going to do this. And then finally, in this commitment place, this committed to change place, the final battle happens. And in the movies, of course, it's a destruction and always accompanied by lots of noise and blare and crap that unfortunately we're seeing on our planet today. And my suggestion is that we take the calm with us when we go and face the dragon. So that instead of overcoming the dragon, we tame it. Instead of finding a way to have power over, as the heroes too often do, and then they become the villains themselves. That instead that we change our relationship. So this is the final change step. And it's always sort of Hollywood style is this big destructive thing, but big destructive things lead to big destructive things. And so my idea is that here is where we should make stories less interesting, but more intriguing and actually more challenging. And that is to take whatever it is that feels like the enemy and change your relationship to it. Because all of the skills that you have learned as the hero with companions, staying calm and refining as you go, are all designed for the good of all. And we don't live in a Hollywood movie where we need to destroy the bad guy, the bad boss, the crappy relationship, whatever it might be. Maybe all we need to do is find a way to change the relationship to it and then leave without it creating more anxiety, anger, and war. Remember, anytime you're in war, you're in a place of, we are right. By definition, that means the other is wrong. So instead, I encourage you to think about the idea on your hero's journey of not depressing, suppressing, rejecting the things that are your tormentors, but rather to find a way to become different in relationship to them. So that then, just like the witch in The Wizard of Oz, they just melt. They just melt away. Because sometimes I think the reason they seem so big is because we've given them so much power. Courage. The courage to cross over. The courage to be committed. The courage to change how you behave, how you react. We are each the hero in our story. And even though we're not saving the world, in some ways we are. Because when we change, the people around us will shift how they behave. And then the people around them will shift how they behave. And there is a ripple effect that we are not aware of on an everyday level, but I am convinced is there. So have courage. Have courage to cross into the unknown. You will be supported. There are supports. You can expect to fail and pick yourself up and start all over again. And every step that you take, 1 step forward and 3/4 of a step backwards, is still progress. And then change. Shift happens. Be the hero in your story. It will be the hero that makes a difference in all of ours. I bless you.
Thank you. That was a beautiful, beautiful, inspiring talk. Thank you, Rhona. You know me better than I know myself, and you see me different than everybody else. Just when I feel I've reached the moon, you look at me and say, let's go higher, let's go higher. You say, hey, don't look down, look at what we found. Let's go higher, let's go higher. You showed me there is always something more. And you take me where I've never been before. Just when I feel I've reached the moon, you look at me and say, let's go higher, let's go higher. You say, hey, don't look down, look at what we found. Let's go higher, let's go higher. You make me believe love is all we'll ever need. Just when I feel I've reached the moon, you look at me and say, let's go higher, let's go higher. You say, hey, don't look down, just look at what we found. Let's go higher, let's go higher. Just when I feel I've reached the moon, you look at me and say, let's go higher. let's go higher. And you say, hey, don't look down, look at what we found. Let's go higher, let's go higher. Higher.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, it's fun to see everyone dress up in Halloween costumes today, from Snow White to a witch and someone from the 70s. It's a lot of fun. Please stay for a potluck lunch after today's service. It's the last Sunday of the month, so we'll sing happy birthday to everyone who's had a birthday in October. Then stay for Cindy's Creative Cafe and karaoke. Sing, paint, draw, tell a story, or express yourself artistically in some other way. Admission is by donation. If you want to paint, the cost is $10 to pay for the material. Here's your chance to connect with friends, share your talents, and learn something new. And there's some people with some really good talent there. Join us every Sunday of each month from 12:30, every last Sunday of each month from 12:30 to 3:30. All are welcome. Thank you, Cindy, for your inspiration. Please join us on Zoom for our Monday meditation and prayer service. It's a time to rest, renew, and reset. And it's a time to read the names of all the people on our prayer list and to bless other people. Please note that Meditation Monday will be on Zoom only tomorrow, October 30th, and next week, November 6th. If you would like to add a name to the list, please fill in a prayer request and put it in the offering basket or send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website. We leave the names on our list for about 2 months. Then we forward the names to Silent Unity, which is Unity's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, prayer vigil, and prayer phone line in Unity Village near Kansas City, Missouri. Join us on Zoom on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for Wisdom Wednesdays, for a discussion about the previous Sunday message. We explore and share ideas in a safe and confidential manner. The Zoom link is on the website, in the weekly email, and on the app. And if you aren't able to join on the computer, you can also call in on a phone. A replay of the talk can be found on our website and on our app. But if you don't have time to watch the talk, feel free to join anyways. No prior preparation is needed, and the discussions are enriching and enlightening. Daylight savings time ends next week, so please remember to change your clocks back an hour next Saturday night. Otherwise, Sunday we may not be here in time. Planning now for the end of life care is the best way for you to attain the treatment you want and the peace of mind you deserve. To that end, we have invited Alex Muir and Sheila Page from Metro Vancouver chapter of Dying with Dignity, Canada, to talk about advanced care planning. This session empowers people to plan for serious injury, illness, and end of life. You will learn the what, why, when, and how advanced care planning is. How to select a substitute decision maker. The process of creating an advanced care plan, including where to access relevant forums and resources. The sessions will be right here at 2 p.m. Tuesday, November 14th. Admission is free and all are welcome. Please share this information and bring your friends. Refreshments will be served. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's time for the annual Purdy's Chocolate Fundraiser. After our best ever year of sales last year, our amazing Cindy Noble is heading up the campaign for us again. Yay, Cindy. And you can place your orders by phone or email or by going to purdys.com and joining the group. Our group number is 15455, and the QR code is on your screen. Order deadline is Monday, November 27th, and orders will be ready for pickup after Monday, December 13th, and until December 22nd. We receive 20% of the sales, and people who order receive a coupon for 20% off their Purdy's chocolates in the following year. Let's do better this year. The world needs more chocolate. See Cindy for that. Unity of New Westminster is completely funded by the contributions of our community, and we are grateful for your gifts which support our ministry. Many of our community contribute with pre-authorized payments, and we are especially grateful for these regular contributions because they help us to remain financially healthy. If you're not adding anything to the basket, please. It's the costume, you know. Please bless it silently as it passes you by. If you are watching online and you want to support our message, please click on the link in the talk description, and thank you very much. Please give from your gratitude and sense of abundance rather than from a sense of obligation. And as we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something you're grateful for. We are so blessed.
So grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And as Valerie said already, thank you all for being here. Valerie, this was your first time getting up and just reading like that. Wow, thank you very much. You did amazing. And thank you again to Chris and to Beverly for your beautiful, beautiful talent. I love it when you're here. Love it, love it. Thanks to our AV team and to everyone else for being here, for dressing up, for choosing just to dress up as normal, everyday, undressed up people is great too. We're very happy that you dressed. Okay, I'll stop now. Let's move into a circle and we'll sing our peace song and prayer for protection. And as